I've actually had quite a few people ask me how my job search has been going. If you are unaware, I was laid off from my full-time job exactly a month ago, and I posted a video about it. It went viral and whatever, but I've had people ask me how my job search is going. If you can tell by how puffy my eyes are, it's not going well. I feel like today is like the first time in the last month that I like actually had like a full-fledged breakdown just about the job market and things like that. It's really hard when like you go through an interview process somewhere and you are really hopeful about a job and then you don't get the job. And the job market is so tough because jobs want like 3 to 4 years of experience, and most people like don't have that. Like, I've just kind of come to the realization I have so much shit coming up this year between weddings, trips, my wedding, my honeymoon. Our lease is up in June, and I hate crying on the internet, but it's just all very, very overwhelming, and it's really hard to even like have your application be seen by most companies. Like, I just feel like when you apply on LinkedIn, your application is literally viewed by like AI, not a real person, so you're not getting through to someone. I've also just seen so many videos like on my For You page this week and like just over the past month actually of just people being laid off, and some of the comments are just like so mean on those videos. And even my video, like I got so much like hate on my videos. I haven't talked about being laid off since those videos just because I was tired of like receiving negative comments about it. But at the end of the day, like when you're laid off, like your income is literally taken from you without notice for something that like you didn't do. Like, it's not like you got fired for something.
The job market right now is so trash that you might as well just stay at that shitty job that you hate until you get like another job locked in. So up until last week, I was unemployed for about 2 months, and the first month I pretty much just chilled, treated it like a vacation. But by the second month, that's when I started applying to places, and I applied to about 10-15 different places, and out of those 15 places, I heard back from maybe only 1 or 2 places. The rest, I didn't get no call, no emails, nothing. And when I had a job, I would see people come on here all the time talking about how the job market's shitty, that it sucks, and I really thought they were just talking. I didn't think it was true until I actually was unemployed and was looking for jobs, that it hit me. It was like, damn, bro, they really ain't lying. The job market really fucking sucks right now.
This job market is trash, and I'll tell you why. Because I had a final round interview for an entry-level job last week. Entry-level, mind you, I am 32 years old. My last like role, like title I had was senior operations analyst. This role I applied for was an operations coordinator. So literally at bottom of the totem pole, a girl who did my like peer interview, low-key, I think she was like 23, 24 years old. So that's the kind of jobs I'm applying to now because I keep getting feedback that I don't have enough experience. So what I do, I applied to the lowest level out there, made it all the way to the final round, thought it was a really good fit. Like, I am more than qualified for this job. I'd be like such a great addition to this team. What do I get? Rejected. Don't worry though, I did not get my hopes up like last time, so I am just like, whatever. But you know, I would appreciate some feedback or like clarification why I got rejected. I made it all the way to the final round, and no, I just get a blanketed email from the recruiter. I respond like asking for feedback. Do I get a response? No. It's now been 3 days, no response. Now they're ghosting me, and I'm just like,
You guys want to know how bad the job market is? I almost cried mid-interview because I was so frustrated. Like, what the fuck? I've never felt that before. But I'm just so frustrated and I don't know what to do. Like, it was like so overwhelming because those questions I couldn't answer because I don't have experience. But I can't get experience because no one wants to hire me. Like, what the fuck? So, just so you know, like, if you have a job that you hate, just keep it. It's hard.
Can't be the only person who feels like this. So I'm 30 years old. I'm unemployed, I've been unemployed for 4 months. I literally can't get a job. I've applied to over 150 jobs. I now have negative $4.41 in my savings account because of the monthly service fee that just hit. I don't know when I'm going to get a job. I feel very lost. This feeling of being unemployed and applying to jobs and retailing your resume, getting rejected, and then seeing the job reposted literally 2 weeks later is demoralizing. And remembering that I am still worthy and I am still valuable has been very difficult. I left my last job because it was destroying my mental and physical health. I liked the job, but I just couldn't do it anymore. And so I applied to a new job, and I was going to make the most money I was ever supposed to make in my life. And they laid me off 4 days before I was supposed to start due to company reorganization. And I haven't been able to find a job since. I don't have a Roth IRA. I don't have any type of investment accounts. I don't know if I'll ever own a house. I am married, but we're both children, to be quite honest with you. I live in an apartment that we can no longer afford because I lost my job, moved down here for the job that laid me off 4 days before I was supposed to start. So when you sign a lease, you just can't get out of it like that. That's not how that works.
So if you haven't heard the news, I got laid off from my job a couple days ago. I'm still in shock, to be honest. I didn't work in the government setting. I worked in the pharmaceutical industry, and I worked there for 6 years. And it came out of the blue. There was no warning for this. In fact, when I got the meeting invite from my boss's boss, I get on the call and I see HR on. And I wasn't thinking, I'm about to get laid off. I was thinking, why is HR on the call? And yeah, they're restructuring and it happened, and I start crying because it's so shocking and unsettling. And you're like, oh my God, I have no job. I have no health insurance anymore. Like, what am I going to do?
Why is it so hard to find a job? Why is everybody around me getting a job and working towards their life purpose, and I'm here getting rejected time after time after time after time? I'm educated, I'm well-spoken, I'm well-presented, I'm smart, I'm intelligent, and I have been getting a no after no after no for the past 2 years. Even the job that I did get last year, I got made redundant after 2 months. And this year I've been applying, going to interviews, doing everything correctly, and still I get a no. The last job that I went to was a hostess job at a restaurant in Mayfair, and I got rejected from that too. So what the fuck am I doing wrong? I just don't get it. I don't understand why I'm doing everything wrong. And it's so hard to feel positive and keep on going and just being like, okay, I can do this. Maybe like I'm being steered in another direction. Maybe God is trying to give me a sign, but I feel so alone because I don't see the signs. I don't see what I'm supposed to do. I've been applying every day. I applied to 30 fucking jobs. Every day, like, I'm on my shit. I message people on LinkedIn, the hostess job. I DM the restaurant on Instagram because I wanted to raise my chances of getting the interview. Went to the trial shift. The trial shift was really good. Nothing went wrong. I did everything correctly, but I still got a no. So I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Like, where am I supposed to go at this point? Because I don't know how much I have it in me to keep on staying positive. Because they have successfully broken me down to feel so worthless, so lazy, so stupid. I'm like, what is it?
So I was fired today and wanted to come on because I feel like, number one, this happens to a lot of people, and I was really blindsided by it. The reason I wanted to come on, number one, is because I feel like this happens to a lot of people, and it's like shocking and a lot to process. You know, you work for a company with people for a long time, and then to like just get a Zoom, or like, this was like a random meeting put on my calendar, and it only showed like my manager on it. I didn't know like the HR person was gonna be on too, and then they just like said it very kind of coldly. And then they just read out like the severance stuff and just said like, it's your last day, effective immediately, and then just like log off, and you're just kind of like, what is happening? And I think the problem for me is, so they said it was because of a conflict of interest, and essentially at the start of the year, my husband, who worked at the same company as me at the time, he quit because he didn't, he wanted to pursue other things. And at the time, I remember them being really pissed about it because my husband is really good at his job. He's really good at sales, and they just kind of lost this really great salesperson. So they were blindsided by him leaving. And then one day randomly, my manager called me. It was like, how's it going? Normal conversation. And then he goes on to like completely blindsides me, and he's like, so where's Tanner going? And I'm like, I don't know, like he's just figuring out what he wants to do. We have a couple of rental properties, and I was like, he's gonna work on like managing them, and yeah, like I don't know, that was like it. I just said he doesn't know what he wants to do yet. He just wants to change like what he's doing. And then he's like, well, if he ever works at one of our competitors, then that's good, and you guys live in the same household, that's going to be a real problem. And I'm like, okay. It was just a really uncomfortable situation, and I felt like my job was being threatened at the time. So I get off the call, tell Tanner about it, and he's like, what the fuck? He didn't have, the balls to ask me directly about what I'm doing, like no questions about it to him when they had a conversation on the phone. But he'll go to my wife and try to get information out of her. So that just set him off. So we reported that to HR, had a conversation about it, and it was fine, moved on. I like reviewed the handbook and everything, and it didn't say anything about like, family or spouse working at another company. So flash forward to like April, May, and Tanner came out on LinkedIn and said he's working at this adjacent company now. And I'm guessing that's what set them off, because I got let go because of a conflict of interest. And it's because my husband works at a competitor company. My husband, not even me. And I'm just trying to process this. So like I went back to the handbook, and they added that your family cannot work at a competitor. Your family cannot work at a competitor. What?
All right, it's official. I am being laid off. Just received my preliminary reduction in force notice that I am, what's the word? Notice of recommendation not to reemploy for 2025-2026. You are receiving this notice either because you serve in a particular kind of service that is being reduced or eliminated. So, can someone please just explain to me how the teacher of the year gets laid off? And yes, I am upset. But I think I'm so angry right now that it's going to take me some time to sift through these emotions.
Today I walked into work and smiling and greeting as I always do, with a positive attitude. And when I walked into work today, I was told, Haley, you shouldn't be smiling today. What? We are all losing our jobs today. Today is your last day. You're being laid off. There wasn't a notice. There wasn't an email sent out. There wasn't our higher-ups telling us anything that we knew. But to come to find out that there has been some confirmation on their part that they knew, but we didn't know until we walked into work today. We just started our pay period for this week. Imagine coming into work, you just started your pay period, and you come into work today and you find out you're no longer going to have a job. But not to your fault, but to the company's fault. There has been so many people in the last week that have got an apartment, got a house, got a car because they really needed it to get to work, has a family, has bills. How are we supposed to even pay bills knowing you just laid us off starting our new pay period? But this is square one health to you. It's embarrassing coming to work and the news showing up and you're finding out that you're losing your job, but the higher ups know, but none of the employees know. You're finding out as you come into work today. Why is that okay? Why is it okay that we don't get paid our pay time off? We worked really hard for those hours. There are people that have over 80 hours of pay time off, and they're not getting paid it because Square One Health is not going to pay it, and that's what they told us today. They are not going to pay us our pay time off. Why is there no repercussions for a company that knew that they were going to shut down but didn't tell their employees until we found out today?
너 왜 울어? 문제 있어? 무슨 문제가 있어? 엄마한테 말해.
I need to tell my mom that I got laid off. This is not going to be an easy call. We're going to just FaceTime her from my phone.
여보시오.
뭐해?
가게에서 일하지?
오늘 가게 일하는 날이구나.
어쩐 일로 전화를 했어요?
아이, 전화한 지 오래됐잖아, 우리가.
그래서 잘 지내고 있나요?
잘 지내고 있지.
왜 그러지? 너 왜 울어? 문제 있어? 무슨 문제가 있어? 엄마한테 말해.
진짜 엄마한테 하고 싶은 말이 아니었어, 이게. 근데 오늘 회사에서 정리해고 당했어.
아이고.
생활비도 어떻게 지낼까. 엄마는 맨날 나만 걱정하잖아. 그래서 더 걱정시키고 싶지 않아, 나는.
아니, 괜찮아.
그래서 말 안 하려고 했는데 내가
말 안 하면 안 되지. 안 해야 돼.
그니까 엄마니까 그래도
그렇지.
엄마한테는 말하고 싶었고.
울지 마. 할 수 있어. 할 수 있어. 너 다른 잡 찾을 수 있어. 걱정하지 마. 괜찮아. 울지 마. 그리고 레이벌 디파트먼트에 가가지고 엄마하고 아빠는 걱정해본 적이 없어. 다 너 잘할 거라고 생각했어. 괜찮아.
고마워. 엄마가 그렇게 말해줘서 너무 고마워.
너도 더 좋은 잡을 찾을 수 있어. 걱정하지 마.
계속 열심히 하고 있었지만 지금부터 이제 더 열심히 하고 내 자리를 찾을 거야.
사람들은 그런 일 한 번씩 다 당해. 이게 나를 좀 더 스트롱하게 하는 그런 거야. 그러니까 절대 실망하지 말고 더 좋은 이 기회가 너를 더 좋은 잡을 찾을 수 있게 하는 그 기회일 수도 있어. 필요하면 언제든지 엄마한테 말해. 필요한 거 있으면. 오케이? 부족했던 잠도 자고 어디 이제 어디냐 도서관 앞에 지금 꽃들도 막 필 때잖아. 꽃 구경도 가. 그 튤립 필 때잖아.
미안해, 엄마.
파이팅. 파이팅. I love you. 힘내.